would have been my grandfather and his brother. They were John and Morris. They were O'Reilly brothers. They were known. They had butcher shops around the place, and they had an abattoir and a tripe house up the north side of Cork City. They ran it for years and years, and then my grandfather died, John. So I think the families had a split then kind of a bit. There was like my grandmother and my dad and uncle and aunts kind of kept the business going on our side, and I started at it in 2003. I took over the business then, since that, like, you know.
Well, I'm here 37 years this year. Came here knowing nothing about sewing or the machines or anything, was only going to stay for 6 months, and 37 years later I'm still here. So just fell in love with the old Singer machines and the people that come in and out, and we've been very busy all the time. Changed a little bit when we came first. It was only just the sale of the machines and the repair of the machines, but afterwards we started doing alterations. So now we're very busy doing the sewing and altering the clothes, and we have a great workforce of girls doing the alterations, and a big clientele built up that come into us all the time.
I've been here since I was 8 years of age. My dad was here before me. He started here in 1951, and I think he was kind of anxious that he'd have somebody to take over the business, so he brought me in at a young age. Initially to act as almost, shall we say, a store detective. It was to watch toys being stolen, and what he was really, I suppose, doing was he was getting me to watch customers and how they reacted, and to study from a young age customers, basically. And you know, every day brought its own. Every customer coming in is a different request, it's a different solution. After I left school then, I came in here full time, and I've been here ever since.
The only kind of business that would have been affected is there, from time to time, the Lidls and Aldis sell cheap machines, and very cheap machines. And people are beginning to kind of come to the realisation now that those machines really, it's a bit of false economy. But for a while it did affect us. But now we are finding that people are beginning to realise that really you are better off coming to the specialised person to buy these things, because we can show them how to use them. If there's a problem after, they can come back here and the problem is sorted straight away. Whereas when they go back with the problem somewhere like Lidl or any of those people don't know anything about the machines, they can't show them, or they can't help them out, or they can't give them parts. So it's beginning, people are beginning to realise that it might be better to come to the specialised people for things like that.
Well, the bigger factories, I'd say, really, like say when the big factories, since they've got like all the production of the tripe, and they're exporting a lot of it, they get big prices in the export trade, so they're charging me the same prices, and prices risen and risen. And you know, before it was kind of a cheap food, but now it's like it's so expensive. It's kind of like a delicacy at this stage, and some people aren't prepared to pay the same money for it, you know.
I had very good parents. They were excellent. My father was a butcher, and my mother was a property owner. And we lived in the north side. I didn't get much schooling because I was in the market, and I was always behind the counter, which was an asset afterwards, because I went to England and I got very good jobs because I was experienced for serving people behind the counter. In fact, I was on the examiner 3 or 4 times.
Well, it's changed insofar as we don't have as much footfall as we used to. There's more online shopping. Now, it's busier, it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? We're busier with the alterations because a lot of people buy their clothes online, but they find when they get them online, they're not fitting properly because they haven't had a chance to try them on. So rather than sending them back, a lot of people will bring them in to get them altered. So that's the plus. The downside then is on the machines. Some people are buying the machines now online where they can get them a little bit cheaper. Then they're near inclined to come in and ask us to show them how to use them and all this sort of thing, which is not what we're really would want to be doing. So our machine sales have dropped because of online shopping, but our alterations have come up a bit because when people are not able to try things on, they normally need to be altered, you know. So,
like there's room for everybody. There's a market for everybody. You know, whether it be you know, the fact that they locate in the city centre is the biggest, is most important for us. In that people will walk around from one shop to another and make a choice, make a selection. I suppose the biggest threat to any business today is probably retail business today is probably online, and you know, unfortunately, people have gone down the road of setting up websites, but really at the end of the day, it's Mr. Google and Mr. Amazon control they seem to control the online business. I've heard stories of guys ordering chewing gum online, you know. Like, I just kind of question why you would bother, but you know, the delivery guys tell me they've delivered chewing gum, you know. You know, like, can you not get to a shop to buy chewing gum?
Yeah, I'm depending on footfall in town, and if people aren't coming to town to buy stuff, they're not passing here, they won't, they can't buy stuff from me, you know. It is definitely, yeah. A few years back there now, when there was a kind of big influx of Eastern Europeans and that kind of thing, like, you know, I got very busy that time because all the Eastern Europeans are mad to eat tripe. They love it, you know. And but now they're after. I know there's still a lot of them around the place, but like there's they haven't. You know, the numbers have gone away since the building went down, like, you know. So if the building comes back a bit, maybe there might be more of them come back, and I'm just hopeful that it might build again in that way, you know. But
oh, I would, the market will always last. The variety, it's the variety of the different stalls and the different people. And people go automatically to people they like. They just like them and they like to converse with them. And they go for that reason.
I mean, we would know if you were here and spent any time, you'd know that most of the people, when they come in, we'd know their names. So they'd be in and out so often that we would be on, you know, we'd know their names, you know.
I suppose I'm a social person. I like talking to people. I like meeting people, and I think that's what really helps as well. If you're a shy person and didn't like dealing with the public, you should not be in retail. But I've always enjoyed meeting customers, meeting different customers every day, talking to people, and learning from people, and they learning from me. And I remember one woman coming in here with her son, and the son was about my age, and he bought a shirt, and at that time a shirt was in a box, and you opened the box, there was tissue paper, and you when you showed somebody a shirt, you maybe took out 6 shirts, 6 boxes, opened the covers, opened the tissue paper on each one of them, and you showed them, and they made their selection. And when they made their selection, you wrapped it in brown paper and twine, and you broke the twine with your hand. You couldn't use the scissors, but you gave it to the young fella then. And I remember her saying to her son, "Say thanks to the man." And like, the man here was only 9, you know. So
Singers is here since, as I say, 1870, and again, a lot of people that would come in, the older, this was a meeting place for couples. Years ago, they'd all say, "We'll meet at Singer's Corner." meet at Singer's Corner. So again, a lot, it's like under the clock in Cleary's in Dublin, I'd say. This was sort of the meeting place because it was everybody sort of knew Singer's Corner, and then it was an easy place for them to meet. So again, a lot of times people would just put their head in the door and they'd say, my first date with my wife was at Singer's Corner 50 years ago or 40 years ago. So I'd say it's just that it's going to be remembered as the old building that has been here for so long, and a lot of people love those old machines. The old black machines really are iconic, and I just think it will be remembered for the old machines and the fact that it's here so long, and it was a meeting place. Everybody met at Singer's Corner years ago. It was just the meeting place.
Yeah, it's the younger generation. They're definitely kind of just they're looking for everything fast, get in and get out kind of thing. But it's the older people. Like I have a lot of older customers who come to me, and they're not really in any hurry, unless they just pull up outside and they need to get their car moved or whatever, just get in and get out that way. Like, you know. But other than that, they will have a chat with you, alright. But it's a dying trend, really, you know.
We were in the fish market, actually. That was where the stall was. But we opened up in number 1 and 2, and we're still there. My nephew is there, Donna O'Reilly, and he's selling tripe and drisheen, and he's selling other products. But I don't go in there much now.
And do you mind just saying your name and your age? Is that okay?
I'm 98 now, I'll be 100 in 2 years' time. And I keep telling my great-grandchildren, and they laugh and they're interested, and they'd like to see a woman of 100. They come and see me often.